Did you know that there is a lost continent called Mu that has been lost to mankind for over 900 centuries? Or perhaps you've heard of Easter Island, one of the least inhabited continents in the world with an architecture that is so sophisticated that it could almost be on the same level as the pyramids. Stay tuned if you haven't, cause you're in for a treat. In this video, we'll be covering all the nitty-gritty on the lost continent of Mu and the heads of Easter Island. Hey curious mind benders, welcome back to the channel. First off, let's talk about Mu. 2,000 years ago, Augustus Le Plongeon found the land of Mu, a continent which he claimed to have existed in the Pacific Ocean before its destruction. But that wasn't even the least of his discovery. Can you believe that the people of Mu might just be responsible for those gigantic pyramids in Egyptian architecture? According to Le Plongeon, legend has it that a great catastrophe broke out among the people of Mu, causing them to flee their land and abandon years' worth of civilization. But whilst this occurred, Queen Mu, her royal majesty at that time, had fled to Egypt and developed what we now know as Egyptian civilization. Wouldn't that overthrow the theory that Egyptian civilization was founded by aliens? But his theory doesn't stop here. Le Plongeon also believed that other refugees had fled to Central America and had eventually founded Mayan civilization. So get this, it's either that the people of Mu were actually aliens or simply a society with technology so advanced that it was way ahead of its time. Some geologists took it upon themselves to find this missing continent, but they claimed that it was physically impossible as they didn't think it was possible for a continent to sink or destroy in the short time asserted by legends. But a few centuries passed and people forgot the lost continent of Mu until James Churchward took it upon himself to research and make some documentation about the people of Mu. James Churchward believed that Mu was once located close to the Garden of Eden and was one of the first places where man settled. He also believed that it was governed by a superior human civilization named the Nakal, who were up to 64 million in number and had brought about the first bouts of civilization. According to Churchward, Mu was once a flatland with massive plains, rolling hills, vast rivers, and estuaries, but was eventually lifted above sea level by the expansion of underground volcanic gases. In a single night, the entire continent was destroyed after a series of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. After a few decades, a scientist named Newsbruff claimed that the unknown continent of Mu that had disappeared 24,000 years ago will soon rise from the Pacific and will be inhabited by the Kosman race. Do you think that humans would once again be subjected to the rule of Mu's new inhabitants? Or are you also of the opinion that it's just a theoretical planet? Let us know in the comments section below. In the meantime, don't forget to click the like or the subscribe button for instant notifications on new videos. While there is little evidence surrounding the remnants of Mu, our next site is much more grounded and still in existence till today. Easter Island is a remotely inhabited city just 2,300 miles located off the coast of Chile. It is popularly known for its carved stone heads which line the sparsely populated island. According to legend, the first population, popularly known as Rapa Nui, arrived on the island about 900 years ago. The population grew to include thousands of people who worked together to carve full-body figures which represented important Rapa Nui ancestors. These figures were later referred to as Moai by the new inhabitants. According to legend, a war had broken out among the founding populace, causing them to fight to the death while leaving nothing but their impressive stone figures behind. A few centuries back, the uninhabited island was once again inhabited by new generations of Rapa Nui. However, there is another theory that exposes that the Rapa Nui ancestors did not fight themselves as many would like to assume, but were actually killed by colonists who stole some of their carved stone figures. Researchers have now taken it upon themselves to research the mysterious stone heads, and they found that each figure within this island was created with the same stone material, suggesting that the people were not only a complex and complicated society, but were also goal-driven and united in their efforts, which was why they were very successful in their craft. 3 possible minerals and quarries were discovered in Rapa Nui, which was why it was quite surprising to find out that each of these stone heads were carved with the same mineral. The tallest stone head is about 700 feet tall with a base of finely cut stone. Unfortunately, many scientists have theorized that these stone statues are likely to fall off due to external pressure from the environment. But considering how long those statues have stayed upright, I doubt that they'll come tumbling down pretty soon. At first glance, the headstones of the Rapa Nui and the artifacts from the lost continent of Mu would seem different, but considering how they were both linked to the Nakals, a superior human civilization, it wouldn't be surprising if the two sites were inhabited by people from the same lineage. For instance, the architecture that was found in Easter Island bore a lot of similarities with the artifacts from Mu. For instance, they were both made from stone and also feature sculptures of human body parts. There are many who believe that the Rapa Nui ancestors are survivors of the Nakals who escaped Mu after it was destroyed by a series of volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. Could Easter Island be the missing portion of Mu that was overlooked by past researchers? Would the Nakals return once again in their full glory and rule over the rest of humanity? Only time would tell. Many have traveled far and wide to see what is left of Easter Island today. However, tourism still remains highly restricted in an effort to preserve the Rapa Nui people's history. What do you think about the carved heads of Easter Island? Would you love to view them at a closer distance someday? And what do you think led to the demise of the Rapa Nui ancestors? Were they killed and enslaved by the colonists? Or did they run out of resources and resort to killing each other? Are the Rapa Nui ancestors the geniuses behind the Egyptian pyramids? Is there more that history is yet to uncover? That's all on today's video. In the meantime, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and smash the bell icon for instant notifications on new mind-bending content. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and stay curious. This is the Curious Mind Benders signing off.